We're going to bring you the analysis on the stock market coming up, but first, some important information. Please do look at this slide very quickly. It gives you the information about our approach to analysis and some other important things. So take a second and read this. So we'll take a look here at the daily chart in the SPY. And this is just so interesting because what it has here are cycle analysis. And for those of you that are our members, I've added in this cycle that looks to be repeating on this dominant cycle. This is a 52-day cycle, and this is 52-day harmonic families that you see in here. That's broken down into 26-day right in here and 13-day right here. And you can actually see when I zoom in on these cycles how they are laying out really very nicely. Let's take a look here at this middle cycle right here. You could see the low here and the low right over here. And then you look at the intermediate cycle, the half cycle right there. And you can see how that forms right in here. You could see the next one right in here, the previous one right here. Just beautiful cyclicality there. And then this 13-day average cycle, right? Remember, it's averages. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in that cycle, where all 4 of them were nesting down here. It brought some selling right there. The same thing happened here. 1, 2, 3, all 3 of them, sorry, pointing right over here to the downside where it was nesting, and you got that bigger sell-off right there. So that's where they nested right in here. This is where they nested right in here. And yes, that's coming up right in here. And that is in alignment with what we have shown you as a dominant weekly cycle in the Russell and the FEZ. And that really points to us to the likelihood that once this minor cycle right in here, that minor quarter cycle, is done on the downside right in here, that might be a day or two, something like that, then there's likely to be one more little attempt right over here. You could see that right here where it got one more little attempt, and then it failed right in there, and it fell pretty hard. That was a good 6-day hard sell-off, and that's kind of what we're looking right in here. So we're looking like at a 1 to 3 week, a 1 to 3 day daily cycle in here. This is sorry, we're looking at a daily cycle at about 1 to 3 weeks right in here, where it rallies up for a week here, it sells off here for about a week, and then begins to move up right in there. Now, this area right in here, this is where we think it's going to be moving up to our projected high for the year, which really lays out to about 425 to 431 when I look at on the weekly charts. So 430 has been our target since we did our big picture analysis at the beginning of the year. So we're kind of sticking to that. So that makes this area into this intermediate support zone that comes off the weekly as a likely buy area. That would mean that if you were, we'll call it a short-term to intermediate swing trader, then we're looking for a downside swing right in there, which is likely to get you somewhere down from like 415 or 420 down to this area of about 400. Pretty good decline that is potential there. And then from 400 up to 425, 430 sometime out over here as you get into the mid to late summer. So not only are these 3 cycles rising at that point, you can see that right over there, but there's probably going to be another whole harmonic family out there that points to that rise somewhere out in the summer. That could be a lot of range trading in here because we're really only looking for the potential of, maybe 3, 4, 5% on the upside, and from these levels here. And then, of course, as we said in the beginning of the show, potential for a very much weaker period as we get out later in the year. So again, you can see in here, as I blow this out again, the beautiful cyclicality that is in this chart. And as we go, we're looking back here into September of last year. So it's looking back pretty far. and that period of important resistance right up over there. And one more time, I just want to look in here so you get an idea of these cycles or that harmonic family right there, and where those resistances are right there, and the likelihood that the next cycle out over here will get to higher levels outside of a dip. Again, our 2023 target for the year that we put out at the beginning of the year was at 430. We thought this would be a year that would be, a good portion of the year would be positive with more risk later on. And here's these fib extensions right over here. Note the gravestone doji right there, which really set that peak. And I don't know that it's going to be able to get above that level here before it gets into a bigger decline right over there. These are fib extensions right over here that come off of these cycles right in here. And in our level 2, 3, and 4 library that's accessible to you, we do teaching around how to do these fib supports, fib extensions. It's all important information for traders.